What's up, guys, and welcome to Chit Chat with Chastity. First of all, I'd like to apologize for not getting my episode out last week. Some of you, may know that I did or I didn't, but some people hit me up, and honestly, thank you so much for reaching out. I was just out in Miami with the team, and we were working, applying, and it was just an amazing experience. So that Wednesday last week when I had to post, I was traveling back home. I didn't really set that up too well. But I like to record live, on Wednesdays and get everything out the same day of. I want to keep that energy, the momentum flowing, from how my feelings are. And, Wednesdays excite me. So I like to keep that momentum going. But by the time I got home, honestly, I was so drained with all of the information that I was getting and everything that was happening, and shifting back into my house and getting my comfort zone, and not comfort zone, I'm sorry, my sanctuary ready for me to be back. Even though it was clean and stuff, I had to dust things and yada, 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 just get myself prepared to be back home fully. So today's episode is kind of going to coincide with, me not getting that episode out. I had a high expectation for myself, and I hold myself accountable for showing up and showing out. And, a lot of people have expectations for me as well. As far as watching this, they're expecting to see this every week for people that are following. And, I am letting people down by not doing so. And with doing this every week and committing to that comes a lot of consistency and dedication. So I have to hold myself to a higher expectation and a higher standard. So today's lesson is going to be on the 3 dimensions of expectation. Now, this is a podcast from the John C. Maxwell Leadership Podcast, which is on, I have it on my iPhone. And I'm not going to say it in a leader sense, but a leader of your life sense. Not a leader in business, but the leader of your life. How are you leading your life? What are the things that you are doing to exceed your own expectations? So, dimension 1 is expectations of ourselves. Now, this is the most important. This should be our first and highest expectation, because when things happen, you come to yourself first. You think about when you take a picture, right? And you want to post it on Instagram. When you take it, you're like, I love this. I'm definitely going to post this. This is cute, yada, yada, yada. And when you go to your friend and you're like, hey, what do you think about this picture? And their response is, that ain't too cute. It's not my favorite one of you, right? Your expectation was to go to them and they were going to be like, oh my God, that's a beautiful picture. You should go post it. So now that you set this high expectation and standard, when they shoot you down, you're like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do it. But if you think about it, when you initially took that picture, you decided you wanted to post it. You were going to do that because you wanted to. You didn't need anybody else's validation when you took it. So what would the difference make, right? Now, before looking at others and what they want to accomplish, you want to look at yourself. Figure out what it is that you deeply and truly desire. I watched this movie yesterday, and she talked about, people not really knowing their purpose. And of course that is okay, because it takes time to find. You have to, go into your passions, and then your purpose will reveal itself to you. But something that she said that was super, super interesting. I want to read it for you. She said, if you don't know your purpose, you can probably help answer that by saying to yourself, if I was not afraid, I would. And I love, love, love that. If I was not afraid, I would. And I want you to ask yourself that question. And she says the exercise is to take some deep breaths. Just do it with me if you like it. One more. And I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself what you are afraid of. And when you answer that, say, if I was not afraid, I would, and fill in that blank space. And you can do it as many times as you want, because the first time you're going to feel like this is weird, maybe this is not making sense. But the more you do it, repetition is key. Find deep inside what it is those passions are. What drove you before to do things when you were moving at a different pace and feeling at a higher level of yourself. So going back to this, the expectations of ourselves. So for many of us, the hardest challenge we face is leading ourselves in everyday life, right? What direction we want to go. We have to constantly ask, what should I do? What should I do? What should I wear? You have to decide things for yourself. You have to be able to make decisions. The greatest leaders in the world, they make decisions on spot. You want a green car or a red one? Red one, without looking. They just know. Start to train your mind to be able to decide for you what it is that you want. So he tells a story here, and he says that one of his friends holds a card in his pocket and it reads, making the most of oneself on one side. And on the other side, it has 6 key points, right? Or 6 thoughts. So the first one is be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Follow your intuition. Know what it is that you're doing, what you're getting into. Be able to follow by you before you follow behind others, okay? Number 2, make every day your masterpiece. I know that it's hard to make every day your best day, and that is okay, but keep your mindset positive. Work around those difficulties and those adversities and make things work in your favor, okay? Number 3, help others. This is so simple. You can help others by giving a compliment, giving the guy on the corner $1. You can help by helping the older woman cross the street, by helping somebody carry the groceries outside their car. And no, not every time you're going to be able to do it because people get really, don't be touching my stuff. But it's okay. You can try, and that will count for something. Number 4, drink deeply from good books. And I love this one probably the most because for me, personally, this journey has led me to acquire so much knowledge in just my bookshelf. And actually learning and applying these skills is what's going to help me to retain it. And if I'm learning it and not sharing it, it comes to no good use. I'm not serving anybody with this information. So, this is why I'm here, to become a better leader and mentor for people. Like, I'm not that right now, but I'm working towards it. So drink deeply from good books. Number 5, make friendship with fine art. Find some art that you like. Jazz up your house. A bare house, is a bare mind. It's bare everything. You need to make sure you are surrounded by things that give you a feeling of joy. I'll get back into that later because I have another point at the very end of this. So number 6 is build shelter against a rainy day. And that is my absolute favorite because in life, we go through cycles all the time. There's always this door, but we keep revolving around it because we go and we reach that same problem that we had before. And instead of realizing that it's back again and getting through it, we just go back into comfort zone mode, which is where a lot of people die in their comfort zone. You are killing yourself in your comfort zone because you are not expanding and reaching new heights and new pinnacles. You need to expand your horizons and step outside of the box because people will pull you back in there. They are adjusting your life to fit in their comfort zone. When they tell you, no, you shouldn't do this, that's because they haven't done it. They have no idea what it's going to do, but it scares them. And we have to get away from that fear because we all live in fear if we think about it. We live in this box of fear, and there is a little part in every single one of us that is truly not afraid. Find him, find her again, reach deep down because it is there. Okay, so build shelter against a rainy day. Learn to win with yourself before you win with others. That is self-explanatory. Learn to win alone before you go out and expect people to follow behind you and win with them, because you don't even know everybody's intentions. You have to go out and make sure that your energy is protected and that you're doing the best for you at all times. So start with yourself and have high expectations of yourself, because when your words outmatch your deed, you lose credibility. Just like me not making that video. My words outmatched my deed and I lost credibility in not making that video. Some of you may not think that, but that is just so the case, right? Okay, so now I have 2 questions for you, just leaving it at that for the first dimension, which is expectations of ourselves. Do you have high expectations of yourself before others? And this is a question for you to answer. And the second question is, do I have credibility and moral authority? Now, I'm going to leave you with that because for myself, I'm in the midst of answering them. And the next point that he makes here is don't teach what you don't believe or what you don't know. Go out and find out before you go ahead and teach that. And those 2 questions I hadn't answered, so I wouldn't know how to answer you correctly on them, to the best of my ability. So I'm just going to leave that for a later time. So number 2, expectation we have of others. Now, this is the biggest one because we all have expectations of others. We have expectations of them to meet a certain, goal that we set for them. They're going to love me this much. They're going to do this for me on my birthday. They're going to make me dinner this night. And sometimes our expectations override what that person does for us. And we just don't appreciate, those smaller things like that, the fact that they tried. And maybe that was the best that they could do it. And maybe it wasn't. So, hands up in the air with that one. But Our expectations must be clear. Now, it says we expect our people to be a model for leadership for us, right? Now, when we talk about our people, the people that you surround yourself with, right? If you have expectations for them as friends, right? To be respectful in public, to, do the best by you. Do you do those things for them? And do you put in all of that effort that you're expecting out of them? If you put a 10 on somebody's head up for a friendship level, you're like, this person, I expect them to be a 10 because, the first week of your friendship went swimmingly and it was so amazing. So now you hold this high expectation, right? If you expect a 10 from that person, you're going to give a 10 effort with that person. You're going to say, I like this person. I'm going to give them all my effort too. They're being a good friend to me. So I'm going to reciprocate. And because you're doing that, that person is not forced, but almost, subconsciously, they're like, yeah, this person is a good friend. I'm going to try and meet them at their expectations that they have of me. So if you think less of a person, the attention that you give them will be less, right? And the less that they're going to give you back. So if you had an expectation of yourself, you wouldn't do that because you do everything and lead with your best intention. Your best intention overall for everyone. I'm sorry, excuse me, I need a drink of water. Okay. Everything that you give effort to must match your intention. So if your intention for your lover, even now, I mentioned friend, but this comes down to, even being in a relationship, you have high expectations of the person that you're with, but are you meeting them there with those expectations as well? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do? And if you are, and these people aren't meeting you halfway, then you're dragging around dead weight. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's just the truth. You want to make sure that the people that you're giving all your energy and effort to, they're reciprocating that. Because if not, you're walking around pouring your cup out to everybody and you're not filling it up at all. And again, those daily routines and those morning habits, those morning routines, the meditating, the writing, the reading, journaling, those things will fill up your cup early in the morning because you're doing things that fill you up. And before you go ahead and do it for others. So there was a point that he made here. And he said, mentoring should be the way gold is mined. And I think when it comes to relationships in life and our expectations of others, it should be the way gold is mined as well. Now, he goes in to say, several tons of dirt must be removed before you go into the tunnel to dig out all of that gold. Several tons of dirt. So you go deep down, right? Now, what it should look like is dirt, little piece of gold, right? You're digging. You want to be friends with these people. You want to make these relationships. And even for yourself, this same rule applies. You have to dig deep. And you're going to find small chips of gold as you go throughout until you've digged yourself out of that hole and out of those emotions and out of that old version of you. You were able to get rid of that and reach your pot of gold, reach your mind of gold. So remember, when you're going into friendships and you're going into relationships and you're doing things for yourself, remember that every time, even when, you're going for a new job, you have to adjust to that because the old version of you cannot do the things the new version of you has to do. So you have to break away from that. Dig, dirt, and find the gold. Find the gold in everyone. And if that's your intention, if you're not looking to do that, don't do that for everyone else, but go ahead and do that for yourself. Okay. Now there's a little 2.5 to this. So 2.5 is to the second dimension. It's expectations determine the response of others. And this goes back to, that 10 on your head. If you have these expectations for people, make sure that you're giving in that effort, right? And you want to think highly of people. And I don't mean in every situation, but when you know that something is good for you, right? Like, let's say even me joining this opportunity, I know that coming in here, I had a high expectation for myself and my leaders had a high expectation for me. And that is what helped me push because they believed in me, because they saw something in me that I didn't see. And when somebody sees that in you, you want to kind of reciprocate that. You're like, yeah, I have that in me. You believe it. I want to believe it too, right? So the expectations of others determine the response of others as well. Now, the third dimension is the expectations others have of us. And, this all falls down on each and every one of us because we go through this with our parents. We go through this with our loved ones. People have expectations of us, and we want to carry that. We want to live up to people's expectations. And when we end up failing, we end up going down into a rut and then, having to go through that cycle again and come back to the same point. Now, pushing through it again is the point we're trying to get to. So 3 questions that people ask of you, right? Like, I'm not going to apply this to you guys because this is more so for the leaders, and I want to leave this open for everyone. So I'm going to jump to 3 things we need to do for ourselves, right? We need to love ourselves endlessly. And this comes back down to self-talk and the way that we're treating ourselves, the way that we're talking to ourselves. Make sure that you're pouring into yourself all the time, whether it is I am affirmations, I am great, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am worthy, I am limitless, I am elevated, I have endless opportunities, I am consistent, I am dedicated, or saying your gratitude every day. And, I can get back into this every single time I come on this, but, you get the point. Number 2 is to lead yourself. Lead yourself. You can't expect somebody to come into the picture and lead you down the right path if you have no sense of direction. If you're not trying to lead yourself there as well, you're not going to reach that. The person you're getting help from is not going to be able to help you because you're not leading yourself. They're dragging you around and you're not moving your feet. So you have to lead yourself into the life that you want. Lead yourself into those expectations, right? Number 3 is listen on a higher level. And I love this. Listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the people who have what you want. Listen to the people who are telling you stories. Listen to the people who are hurting. Stop talking for just a little while. And including myself, I have to do this sometimes too. Sometimes I practice this. I don't speak unless spoken to. Whether I'm in an outside situation, and this is rare. I do it sometimes when I notice that I'm blabbering off at the mouth. Take some time to listen. You'll see a difference in what you're retaining, the information that you're getting, had you not been listening and talking over somebody else or thinking about what to say. Listen, breathe, and let the words come in. Soak them in, understand what somebody is saying or understand a concept, and really bathe in it before you go ahead and express it, right? So, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry, I'm looking at notes here. So the last point here, and when expectations of others, people sometimes have higher expectations of us or things that they shouldn't expect of us. And when that happens, let go of those negative expectations. Let go of, they expect you to fail. Let that go. You don't need to hold that burden on you when you're trying to excel and exceed. These people that you have such high thought in your mind, like, oh man, I'm so concerned about what this person's doing, that person's doing. Those people are out there living their best lives. They're not concerned with what it is you're doing. And yeah, they may watch you and talk shit, but it all means nothing later on. Sooner or later, you wash out all of that background noise, and all you can hear is you, your thoughts, the things you want to do, your dreams, your passion, your purpose. Find you again. All right. Now, that was the end of the 3 dimensions of expectation. And I wanted to throw this part in here really quickly because Nick Felix came on a call with my mentor Mornings with Nano Torres. He does a call every morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday through Friday. And he had a special guest this week named Nick Felix. And he talked a lot about visualization. Now, I'm talking about this because a lot of us have trouble with visualizing what it is that we want. And the reason so is because we're not seeing it in imagery, right? When we see things in person, when you see a large boat, you're like, hey, I want that. If you saw that boat every single day, you're going to start to do things like, I really want this boat. What can I do to attain this? What can I do to reach that goal, right? So what happens is the subconscious mind kind of traps you into believing that that's all that you can do. So what you want to do is trap that feeling and that thought and recreate it and build up that picture that you want in your subconscious, because the subconscious doesn't know what's real or fake. You know, that thing with the dress, is it blue or is it white? You don't really know for sure. You're like, is it blue? Is it white? You just make a choice out of conscious decision because you're like, all right, I'm going to make a choice. Like everybody's saying it's white or everybody's saying it's blue. So you want to, I don't like to say the word trick your subconscious mind, but trap your subconscious mind into believing what it is that you want. So an exercise that he had, or what he asked us to do, was look around your room and see what you have there, right? And this comes back to the bare walls. If your room is bare, your energy is bare, he said. So what he did was he printed some photos of his goals. So he had a goal of, getting a warehouse with Yeezy sneakers, all types of sneakers. So he printed a picture of a guy who's sitting, and behind him is thousands and thousands of Yeezy sneakers in a warehouse. And he printed out the same image, and then he put his face on the picture of that guy to see himself there. Now he sees that image every day. He printed up the picture of the house he wants, car you want, where you want to go, where you want to travel to. When you start seeing these images in your mind repetitively, you're going to start to think of ways to try and reach those goals. And yeah, it may sound crazy to have all these crazy pictures around, but when you're manifesting, when you're visualizing and in the feeling of that moment, like, all right, when I get this car, when I get this boat, and every time you look at that picture, you feel endless joy. You feel the sun beaming on your face. Meditate on it. Visualize it. See yourself having it, right? All right, one more thing. All right, hold on one second. Just want to make sure I get through it all. He said, when you get more weird, the checks get more weird. The connection gets more weird. The spirituality gets more weird. Stepping outside of the comfort zone, they touch on that so much. And I want to make sure that I reiterate it, right? Step out of the comfort zone. Not everything is black and white. It's not only meant to be here. You have to stretch, expand, reach those horizons, go and build the dream life that you want. See it every day, visualize it, be a part of it, manifest it into your life. And I'll leave you guys with that. That's a homework assignment. Answer those questions from earlier and do yourself the favor and go ahead and print those pictures out. Print some of the things that you really want in life, whether it's that car, whether it's that house, whether it's that view on the water, whatever it may be. Print out some pictures and sit there and really look at it. Visualize yourself. Close your eyes and visualize yourself there in the present moment, feeling that feeling of endless joy. I love you guys. Thank you for listening in, and I will catch you next week on Chit Chat with Chastity. Peace.